We have a keynote speech this afternoon on day one of the Sedex 18 conference with Trevor Waldock from Emerging Leaders. Trevor, it's great to see you.
Thank
I'm
you.
looking forward to hearing you speak. What is the conviction of your organisation?
The underlying conviction is that everybody in the world is a leader at some level. If you take Gardner's definition of leadership, he says leadership is the ability to create a story that affects the thoughts, feelings and actions of other people. Everybody's life is a real story. It's being written every day. Everybody in the world. Therefore, the issue is who's got the pen. Because if you don't have the pen, someone else does. That is leadership. It's the Western world that's taken that world and privileged it around power and position and all those things. So our conviction is everybody in the world is a leader at some level. If we could liberate that leadership potential, they will change the world around them.
And you're talking about liberating those leadership skills, that potential in everyone in
Absolutely.
a supply chain. So how do you
I'm
do
talking
that?
about the poorest of the poor.
Yeah.
That's where we started.
But how do you do that? Simply.
So simply, well, everything we do is based on principles. I studied 3,000 years of leadership history, and like gravity is a principle. What are the principles of leadership that we've known for 3,000 years? If you can distill those, they will work anywhere, rich or poor, anywhere in the world. So we've distilled those principles and then found very simple ways of teaching it to people who probably haven't ever finished school, some have never even been to school. And bring those principles together in the right order, in the right way, you create shift in people's lives. From hopelessness to mindset shift to actually beginning to do something with their lives that benefits others. That's the process that takes place.
How does that fit then with the theme of this conference, which is beyond compliance?
So we're working with Marks & Spencer since, well, we worked with the supply chain since 2012, with Marks & Spencer's directly since 2013. Because what they sell is to get beyond compliance, let's invest in all the workers. So we have worked in partnership with them. We bring our training all the way through their supply chain. And what it does is it creates beyond compliance. Because what you're now getting is that, and I'll be telling those stories this afternoon, is what happens when an individual who's picking onions actually says, I can do this faster, we could do that better. Because now they're bringing all of themselves to work. They see themselves as a leader of their own life, and they will change the situation. And I'll tell stories about that this afternoon.
Who are the most difficult people to convince, though, in this process?
The bosses. And it's a little bit scary. I mean, some are brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and I have to praise Marks & Spencer's. For us, they've been ahead of the game in their vision to see this. But some of the bosses that we work with in the supply chain, they literally say to me, we want you to empower our workers a little bit.
But not too much.
But not too much, because if they recover choice, they might speak back to us. They might challenge our management, or worse still, they might use their choice and go somewhere else. And we can't afford to lose labour. Now, some people would call that oppression of a different kind, but that's probably the biggest challenge we get.
But you don't put a limit on how much liberation you offer people, do you?
No, and we never tell people what to do. What we do is say, here are the principles, this is what it means to lead your life, and we let them work it out, and they do. And what we see is what we call a ripple effect. You see, often in the world of compliance, you want to tick boxes. Well, humanity is not in a box. Your life is not in a box. If we liberated your leadership potential, it'll change your relationships, you'll work better, there'll be things you'll start doing in your community. Lots of things, ripples of change will happen when you do that. And we let people work that out. They know their issues. I don't need to tell them. So a guy will come up and say, that was amazing, the training, all the rest of it. I haven't spoken to my brother for 10 years, and as a result of my training, I've spoken to my brother. Oh no, by the way, here's a photograph. Because of the training, I started saving and budgeting. Here's a picture of the house I'm now building. And hey, I got promoted at work because they now see me as trustworthy. It's this ripple effect of what happens when a person changes.
Where do we sign up? I'm looking forward to hearing
Great.
stories.
Thank
Trevor
you very
Waldock
much.
from Emerging Leaders, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.